skill saw and just radiused the corner, and then took a mouse sander and smoothed it out a little bit. And on this end, I've taken a strap of PVC and wrapped around. I heated it, wrapped it around the pipe, so this will hold the pipe up secure against the edge. And then down here I have a mark on the height that I want, and it's actually measured from here down, and that's where I start the pipe. So you can see here I've just taken one off of the form, and that's how it winds up being. So I've marked both ends up, and now I'm going to slide one end into the piece here. I could very easily take the bolts out of that, but it's actually easier for me just to slide it in. Now I want to heat between the marks. So not a lot of heat. So I'm just going to keep this moving and keep the pipe moving. And I want to heat between the marks. And what you got to do is, as you heat this, the pipe is going to start spreading the heat out over the pipe. And so what will happen is it'll actually become more or less a wet noodle if you give it enough time. You don't want to rush it, because if you rush it, you scorch it, which is not really a problem for our use, because we're going to be covering it with a pool noodle anyway. But if you want to keep your pipe nice and white, then take your time with the heat. And like I say, keep rotating the pipe, keep the heat moving, and you can see now it's starting to bend. So now I'm going to concentrate the heat more to the other end of the mark there where it's not bending. And you give this a little bit of time, and then it's going to start bending in both places, and then we're going to form it. So you can see now it's starting to bend in both places, both at the mark. So by keeping this rotating, I'm able to let the heat transfer around. You see it's actually bending on its own now. So now you don't have to be super fast with this. So I'm going to kill my heat. And then I'm going to bring this pipe over and set it on the mark down here. And then see, I have this little clamp that I can put on. And now I'm going to just pull the pipe up against the form. And that's going to give me the curve that I want. And on this one, it really doesn't matter where the curve is. But on the next one, we're really going to be paying attention to where the curve is, because we want both ends of this to be pointing straight down. And if it gets where you can keep your hand on it, then you're pretty much done with it. Okay, so I'm going to pull my screws and rotate my piece around and lock it back down. Okay, so now again I'm going to heat between my lines, and then this time whenever I fold this down, I want to make sure that that one there is going straight up and down too, because I don't want to do it where it's like that, and I don't want to do it where it's in the other direction. I want to be straight up and down. See, I can pull it around, so I'm going to put it on the line, make sure the end down there is standing straight up. Now that's holding really good and tight to my form. And then we're going to let that cool. So if you don't get your pipe heated in the right area, don't worry about it, just back it off and then reheat it. The other thing you might note is that whenever I was heating the pipe, I was going from mark to mark the first time I did it, and the second time I did it I went from mark to mark, but then I came back halfway and did a small stroke in the middle. The reason for that is that'll help you heat the pipe more evenly, because whenever you get to the end and you stop and you go back the other way, well, you're adding more heat here, and so you're also adding more heat here, so you wind up getting the pipe ready to bend on the marks but not in the middle. So after you do it a while, you figure out that if you go from mark to mark and then come in the center and do it, then you wind up heating it evenly. So, but that's how I went about bending the pipe. And now you just fill the pipe if you can. It's still a little warm, so I'm going to keep holding it to the mold. But whenever it gets where you can put your hand on it and keep your hand on it, then it's good enough to go ahead and remove. Which it's closed right there.